Creativity is the greatest rebellion in existence. If you look at your stereotypical fascist, right wing, they're always very upright. Heil, Sieg, Heil, Sieg, Heil. You know, they love sport, love competition, they're very rigid. And one thing that they can't do is to relax, let go, and truly express themselves and bring anything new, any form of ideology, any form of compassion. They don't have that ability to be able to add anything or contribute to a better society, anything that's original basically, because energy doesn't work that way. Now, art has a very important role in society. It is a reflection of the ordinary world. It reflects politics, it reflects economics, it reflects education, it reflects family life, it reflects absolutely everything. And artists and creatives pick up on the vibe, the overall culture of society, and through them and with their own genius, it comes out through paintings, digital graphics, through film, through music, dance, drama, you name it. And it's there as a guide as to what is actually happening at the moment. But more importantly, for the true geniuses, who would put John Lennon in there and who else? The famous guitarist, Jimi Hendrix. Art can be a way of developing society, a way of leading society towards new, fresh expressions based upon what is actually of value. Because if you go back into sort of Bronze Age times, they produced pieces of artwork which are of value because of the leisure time that they had. They were able to produce artifacts and paintings and bits and bats which added to the overall experience and joy of life. That's aesthetics that the Greeks talk about. Aesthetics is being alive and expressing yourself, and that which you express adding some sort of value and some sort of evolutionary quality to life. Whereas anaesthetic is what puts you to sleep, which is what a lot of the music I'm hearing, well, I don't even watch the TV properly, but in terms of what's being pumped out through the corporate channels of the arts, so-called arts world, X Factor being the primal archetypal example, is what's produced, because they are regurgitating, they are copying, reprocessing, rehashing old concepts, and that is not creative. That's where we come into mimicry, and that's where we come into the archontic forms of expression, which are based on control, commodification, and really the dumbing down of society, which is why these fascists, and these super competitive types, that's the zone there. In order for them to feel good, they have to be oppressing somebody, or they have to be in competition or in conflict with somebody instead of in harmony. So, there is pretty much a tight grip on the music industry, and it is really important now for artists to prepare those artists that are politicising their work. And it is really important because at the moment, if you look around, the environment and the world is in big, big trouble. So there is a dire need for artists to politicise their work, to make their work a channel for informing other people and radicalising other people. Not the terrorism radicalisation, the real radicalisation, which is healthy and progressive. But for an artist to be able to do that, you've got to accept the fact that you're going to be in a minority and you're also going to be skint. But at the same time, you're likely to be the most inspired and the truest form of artists, because your art is number one, your creativity is number one, and that the finances and the status comes secondary, third, or doesn't even come into it, So this is where we really, we're really being ourselves, being really unique, being bohemian, because, like the true bohemian basically lives in the moment and puts their art first, and their whole lifestyle and life expression is about love, truth, justice, beauty, which is where we want to be as a society, obviously. So creativity truly is the greatest rebellion in existence. That's why the life that you choose is very important. And that's why in every fascist regime, for example, in the Khmer Rouge under Pol Pot, artists were persecuted. In fact, art and creativity were banned completely, and most of the artists were genocided. Very, very few still surviving. And under the current Tory culture, you know, like, people don't seem to be able to put two and two and where we're going. But obviously there needs to be massive change, and people have got to stand up and truly, you know, embrace what it is to be themselves and have a bit of fun. Because by taking the piss and by making fun of these bastards, yeah, and these fascists, that is something they cannot handle. It's also the best way to inform other people, because humour, fun, creativity are the best channels to inform people, get people's it. That's why the comedians like Bill Hicks are great, and Spitting Image again was great in the 80s. We need more of that. We need more of that in the mainstream, because they just cannot handle. When you laugh at somebody, when you've got a dickhead in your face who's trying to give you one, or trying to fucking, you know, like, really sort of like put you down or press their ideologies on you, laugh at them, laugh in the face, see what happens. It really freaks them out. Humour, creativity, more please.